Pumpkin, Shannon, is once again at the public attention as new details emerge about her personal life following her split from Josh Efird. The reality TV personality, best known for her role in the Mama June Road to Redemption franchise, has been navigating a period of major transition, both emotionally and publicly. In recent weeks, speculation has grown surrounding Pumpkin's relationship with her current boyfriend, Darrin Kitchens. The relationship itself has drawn significant attention due to its complicated dynamic. Darrin Kitchens is reportedly the cousin of Josh Efird, Pumpkin's estranged husband. This unusual connection has fueled widespread discussion across social media, with fans and critics alike questioning the long-term future of the relationship. Now, Pumpkin is addressing one of the biggest questions directly: whether she is considering marriage again. According to recent statements, Pumpkin appears to be taking a cautious and measured approach. Sources close to the situation indicate that she is focused primarily on stability and personal growth following her separation from Josh Efird. Rather than rushing into another marriage, Pumpkin is said to be prioritizing her responsibilities as a mother and her ongoing efforts to rebuild her life. This shift in mindset reflects a broader change in how Pumpkin is approaching relationships. In past years, her life has been closely tied to family dynamics that often played out publicly, particularly involving her mother, Shannon. The pressures of reality television, combined with personal challenges, have shaped much of Pumpkin's journey. Now, however, she appears to be drawing clearer boundaries. While Pumpkin has not ruled out the possibility of marriage in the future, current indications suggest that she is not in a rush to make that commitment with Darrin Kitchens. Instead, those familiar with her perspective say she is focused on building a strong foundation in the relationship before considering any long-term steps. At the same time, the unique connection between Darrin and Josh continues to be a central talking point. For many observers, the idea of dating, and potentially marrying, the cousin of a former spouse, raises questions about family dynamics and interpersonal boundaries. Pumpkin has acknowledged that the situation is unconventional, but she has also emphasized that her decisions are based on her own experiences and feelings. The public reaction has been mixed. Some fans have expressed support for Pumpkin's right to move forward with her life, regardless of the circumstances. Others, however, have voiced concern about the potential complications such a relationship could create, especially given the shared family ties. Despite the scrutiny, Pumpkin appears determined to move at her own pace. As the situation continues to unfold, it remains clear that Pumpkin's story is evolving. Her willingness to speak openly about her relationship decisions has provided insight into her current mindset, even as questions about her future with Darrin Kitchens remain unanswered. For now, one thing is certain. Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon is not rushing into marriage, and any decision about her future will likely come only after careful consideration. As Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon continues to navigate life after her separation from Josh Efird, her relationship with Darrin Kitchens has become a focal point of public discussion. The unique circumstances surrounding their connection, given Darrin's familial ties to Josh, have added an extra layer of complexity to an already highly publicized personal situation. Recent comments attributed to Pumpkin suggest that she is approaching this relationship with a different mindset than in the past. Rather than focusing on labels such as engagement or marriage, she appears to be emphasizing emotional stability and compatibility. Those familiar with her perspective indicate that Pumpkin has learned from her previous relationship and is now more cautious about making long-term commitments. Her marriage to Josh Efird, which played out in part on Mama June, Family Crisis, and related programming, was marked by both public support and private challenges. Now, Pumpkin is said to be taking a step back from that pattern. Sources suggest that while her relationship with Darrin Kitchens is serious, it is not currently defined by plans for marriage. Instead, the focus appears to be on maintaining a healthy and supportive partnership. This approach aligns with Pumpkin's broader goal of creating a more stable environment for her children. Family considerations are believed to be a major factor influencing her decisions. As a mother, Pumpkin has consistently emphasized the importance of providing a secure and consistent upbringing. Entering into another marriage, especially one involving complicated family ties, would likely require careful thought and planning. Meanwhile, Darrin Kitchens has also addressed aspects of the situation, including his relationship with his cousin, Josh Efird. While details remain limited, his statement suggests that there is an awareness of the unusual dynamics at play. This acknowledgement has done little to quiet public curiosity, but it does indicate that those involved are not ignoring the complexities of the situation. Public reaction continues to vary widely. Some viewers of Mama June, Road to Redemption have expressed support for Pumpkin's measured approach, noting that taking time before making major life decisions is often beneficial. Others remain skeptical, particularly given the interconnected relationships involved. Despite differing opinions, Pumpkin has maintained a relatively consistent message. She is focused on what feels right for her and her family. At this stage, there is no confirmed timeline for any potential engagement or marriage. Instead, Pumpkin appears to be allowing the relationship to develop naturally, without external pressure. This deliberate pace may ultimately shape how her story unfolds in the coming months. The ongoing conversation surrounding Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon and her relationship with Darrin Kitchens highlights broader themes about personal growth, public scrutiny, and unconventional family dynamics. As speculation continues about whether Pumpkin might eventually consider marriage again, her recent comments suggest a clear shift in priorities. In the past, Pumpkin's life has often been defined by rapid changes and highly publicized decisions. Her marriage to Josh Efird, as well as her role within the extended family of Shannon, placed her in the spotlight at a relatively young age. Now, however, she appears to be taking a more deliberate approach. Observers note that Pumpkin's current focus on independence and self-development may be influencing her reluctance to rush into another marriage. Rather than viewing marriage as an immediate goal, she seems to be prioritizing emotional readiness and long-term compatibility. This perspective reflects a broader trend seen among individuals who have experienced high-profile relationships. Taking time to reassess priorities and establish personal stability is often viewed as a necessary step before entering into another serious commitment. At the same time, the relationship with Darrin Kitchens continues to evolve. While the connection between Darrin and Josh Efird remains a central point of discussion, those close to Pumpkin suggest that she does not view this factor as a barrier to her happiness. Instead, she appears to be focusing on the qualities of the relationship itself. Public opinion, however, remains divided. Some supporters argue that personal relationships should not be judged solely based on family connections, while others believe that such ties can introduce complications that may be difficult to navigate in the long term. Pumpkin has not directly addressed all aspects of these criticisms, but her overall stance suggests a desire to move forward without being defined by external expectations. Importantly, there has been no official indication that an engagement is imminent. While the possibility of marriage has not been ruled out, it is not currently positioned as a priority. For many observers, this represents a significant shift from earlier phases of Pumpkin's life, where major decisions often unfolded quickly and in the public eye. Now the emphasis appears to be on patience and careful consideration. As the story continues to develop, Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon's approach to her relationship with Darrin Kitchens offers insight into how she is redefining her personal life following her split from Josh Efird. At the center of the discussion is the question of marriage, specifically whether Pumpkin is considering taking that step again in the near future. Based on current information, the answer appears to be cautious but open-ended. Pumpkin has not dismissed the idea of marriage entirely. However, she has made it clear through both direct and indirect statements that she is not rushing into such a commitment. This measured approach reflects a broader effort to ensure that any future decisions are made with careful thought. Her experiences in the public eye, particularly through shows like Mama June Family Crisis, have likely played a role in shaping this perspective. Living under constant scrutiny can amplify the consequences of personal decisions, making it all the more important to proceed carefully. In addition, the unique circumstances of her current relationship cannot be ignored. The fact that Darrin Kitchens is related to Josh Efird adds a layer of complexity that would likely require ongoing communication and understanding among all parties involved. Despite these challenges, Pumpkin appears to be focused on maintaining a positive and stable environment for herself and her family. This includes taking the time to evaluate what she wants from her future, both personally and romantically. For now, there is no confirmation of engagement plans or wedding preparations. Instead, Pumpkin's current stance suggests that she is allowing her relationship to grow naturally, without imposing a fixed timeline. Public interest in her story remains high, driven in part by the unusual dynamics and in part by her long-standing presence in reality television. As new details emerge, it is likely that discussions about her future will continue. Ultimately, Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon's position can be summarized as cautious optimism. She is open to the possibility of marriage, but is not actively pursuing it at this time. And for now, that balance between openness and restraint appears to define her next chapter. Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon is once again making headlines as questions continue to swirl around her personal life, particularly her relationship with Darrin Kitchens and whether she is seriously considering marriage again following her split from Josh Efird. For longtime viewers of Mama June, Road to Redemption, Pumpkin's journey has been anything but simple. Over the years, audiences have watched her grow from a teenager navigating a complicated family situation into a young mother balancing responsibilities, relationships, and life under constant public attention. Now she finds herself at another turning point, one that could define her future in a very different way. At the center of this developing story is her relationship with Darrin Kitchens, a connection that has quickly become one of the most talked about aspects of her life. Not only because the relationship is new, but because of its unusual context. Darrin is reportedly the cousin of Josh Efird, Pumpkin's estranged husband. That single detail has been enough to spark intense conversations across social media, with many questioning how such a relationship might work in the long term. But beyond the headlines and speculation, there is a more nuanced reality emerging. According to recent insights, Pumpkin is not rushing into anything, especially not marriage. While she appears to be happy in her current relationship, sources close to her suggest that she is taking a far more cautious approach this time around. This marks a noticeable shift from earlier periods in her life, where major decisions often seem to happen quickly and under public scrutiny. Now, Pumpkin seems to be prioritizing something different: stability. Those familiar with her current mindset say that she is focused on building a solid foundation before even considering the idea of marriage. This includes strengthening her relationship with Darrin Kitchens, ensuring that there is mutual understanding, and most importantly, maintaining a stable environment for her children. That last point cannot be overlooked. As a mother, Pumpkin's responsibilities extend far beyond her personal relationships. Every decision she makes has an impact on her family, and it appears that she is more aware of that now than ever before. Rather than jumping into another marriage, she is said to be taking the time to evaluate what is truly best for her long-term future. At the same time, the public continues to debate the nature of her relationship with Darrin. For some, the fact that he is related to her ex-husband raises concerns about potential complications. Questions about family dynamics, boundaries, and long-term compatibility have all been part of the conversation. However, Pumpkin appears to be handling these concerns in her own way. She has not shied away from acknowledging that the situation is unconventional. At the same time, she has made it clear, both directly and indirectly, that her decisions are based on her personal experiences, not public opinion. This reflects a growing sense of independence, something that fans have increasingly noticed in recent months. Her journey has also been shaped by her relationship with her mother, Shannon, and the broader family dynamics that have played out on television. Years of living in the spotlight have likely influenced how Pumpkin now approaches major life decisions. In many ways, this current phase of her life represents a turning point. Instead of reacting to circumstances, she appears to be thinking more strategically about her future. That includes taking a step back from the idea of marriage, not rejecting it entirely, but refusing to rush into it. And that distinction is important. Because while Pumpkin has not ruled out the possibility of marrying Darrin Kitchens someday, there is no indication that such a step is happening anytime soon. There are no confirmed engagement plans, no timelines, and no public declarations suggesting that a wedding is on the horizon. Instead, what we are seeing is a more measured approach, one that prioritizes emotional readiness over external expectations. This approach has received mixed reactions. Some fans have expressed support, praising Pumpkin for taking control of her life and making thoughtful decisions. Others remain skeptical, questioning whether the complexities of her current relationship might eventually create challenges. But regardless of public opinion, Pumpkin seems determined to move forward at her own pace. And that may ultimately be the most significant development of all. Because for the first time in a long time, Lauryn "Pumpkin" Shannon appears to be making decisions not for the cameras, not for the headlines, but for herself and her family. As the story continues to unfold, one key question remains. Will this cautious approach eventually lead to marriage, or will Pumpkin choose a different path altogether? For now, the answer is still uncertain. But what is clear is that she is